You may not be losing fast, but day after day, your account keeps wearing down. Your mind stays tense, and you can't quite explain why the harder you try, the more things fall apart. You study more, watch more, trade more, only to repeat the same familiar cycle: hope, fear, holding losses, and blaming yourself after every loss. The problem isn't that you lack knowledge, it's that you're seeing Forex through a fundamentally wrong lens. Forex, just the name alone sounds elegant, full of promise. People call it the largest financial market in the world, where massive flows of money pass through every second. But behind that shining surface lies a naked truth, cold enough to make your skin crawl. 95% of those who step in lose everything. Have you ever wondered why you've heard so many promises? Learn a few formulas and you'll be rich. Read a couple of books and become a financial assassin. Join a few courses and withdraw money from the market like turning on a faucet. It all sounds tempting, but reality is far more brutal. Books may teach you how to pull the trigger, but they never tell you how to survive on the battlefield. I was once just like you, believing those promises, carrying the dream of changing my life. But after countless times being knocked down, I finally understood. Forex was never a get-rich-quick game. It is a battlefield, where the weak are crushed without mercy, and only those who understand the unwritten rules have a chance to survive. Those rules are never written in books. I only heard them from one man, a teacher, an old wolf who had lost millions of dollars to buy lessons paid for in blood. Today, I will tell you all those naked truths. Truths that may hurt, but if you are brave enough to stay until the end of this video, you will never look at Forex with innocent eyes again. This is quiet trading, and this is the naked truth about Forex. The things my teacher passed down to me, the things books will never say. Have you ever wondered why the same book, the same method, can change one person's life while another blows their entire account? Why there are traders who stay silent, never show off online, yet live comfortably on steady profits, while countless others shout about holy grails and only grow rich from selling courses? My teacher once smiled and said something that sent a chill down my spine. If Forex could be mastered just by reading books, no one would ever lose. So where is all that massive flow of money from the losers going? Who is quietly draining the blood on this battlefield? That is the secret. The secrets books never mention. Secrets only those who have tasted enough bitterness can understand. Imagine this. You are stepping into a global casino where your opponents are not a few small gamblers, but massive financial institutions, sharks that control the market. You are just a grain of sand in a vast desert. So how can a grain of sand survive, even faintly shine, in a desert filled with relentless storms? In this video, I will tell you what my teacher passed down to me. Harsh principles, lessons carved in blood, naked truths that, if you don't know them, you will be the next victim. But remember, once you've heard them all, you will never look at Forex with innocent eyes again. My teacher once asked me a question that still haunts me to this day. Have you ever wondered why the Forex market is so vast, yet as many as 95% of traders still fail? That is the greatest paradox. Every year, thousands of books are published, millions of videos are uploaded, countless courses are constantly being created. Yet why does the number of people losing money always exceed the number of those who survive? Everyone talks about getting rich fast, about so-called holy formulas. But if those formulas truly worked, why are the people selling them getting rich from tuition fees rather than from trading itself? Most people believe Forex is a fair market, where price moves purely based on supply and demand. But the truth is, behind every single candlestick, there is always an invisible hand, those large enough to bend the entire market. My teacher looked straight into my eyes and said, "If you keep believing that studying what's written in books is enough, you will remain nothing more than prey. This market does not pay those who memorize theory. It only pays those who understand the unwritten rules. And that is where the greatest paradox lies. The market was created to drain money from the impatient and quietly transfer it into the hands of those who know how to wait. Think about it. If the market were truly fair, why are there sudden crashes that wipe out millions of accounts in just seconds? If everything were purely supply and demand, why does price sometimes reverse violently the moment the crowd becomes convinced it will move the other way? My teacher called it the shark's cruel art. They build perfect traps, give you a sense of safety, give you the confidence that you are right, and then, in a single blink, they swallow everything. That explains why most traders are always at a disadvantage. They look at charts through the eyes of outsiders, while the big players see the market as a chessboard where every move has already been calculated. And that is a bitter paradox. The more you try to find a guaranteed method in books, the more precisely you walk the path the sharks have laid out for you. The more you believe the market is predictable, the easier you become a victim. And the more desperately you crave quick riches, the faster you turn yourself into prey. My teacher once said, "Forex is a battlefield. But on this battlefield, survival does not belong to the strongest. It belongs to those who understand the rules of the game." And I slowly realized those rules were never written in books, nor are they honestly taught by so-called experts. They are passed down only by those who have lost, who have suffered, who have stood on the edge of bankruptcy before finding a way to survive. My teacher was not the type to preach empty lessons. He taught through his own wounds, through the painful falls he had endured. He told me about a night when, in just a few hours, he lost over $500,000. The screen glowed red. His account evaporated so fast that all he could do was sit there frozen. No tears, no anger left, only a cold, numbing pain. But it was in that very moment that he grasped a truth he later passed on to me. Money in Forex never truly disappears. It simply flows quietly from the pockets of the impatient into the pockets of those who know how to wait. Another time, he screamed and slammed his fist on the table as the market suddenly reversed, shattering every prediction he had made. He rushed into trades like a wounded animal, trying to claw back what he had lost, and the result was more losses, again and again, until the account was completely wiped out. He told me, "The more desperate you become, the faster you die. The market never hears your screams. It only cares about discipline." He had also once placed his trust in experts, in polished analyses, in forecasts that sounded absolutely certain, and he lost money. He laughed bitterly and said, "You will never get rich by copying someone else's way of thinking. The market only pays those who dare to think independently." He said, "There is one thing my teacher said that I remember most. In Forex, the most expensive price is not money. It is a false belief." No book teaches those lessons. They are written in blood, in the loneliness of long nights spent watching charts dance, in the moments when accounts are burned to the ground and hearts are torn apart. As I listened to him, I felt a chill run through me, because I knew that if I didn't change, sooner or later I would follow the same path. There is a truth that is painfully clear, yet few are willing to accept it. Forex is not a money printing machine. It is a wealth redistribution machine. It was created to move money from the hands of the disciplined majority into the hands of those who understand the rules of the game. When I observe the market now, I no longer see it as flickering candles moving up and down. I see it as a complex system operating in cycles, like a miniature economic machine where every movement has a cause and a consequence. Losers often believe the market is random. Winners understand that every move, no matter small, is the result of capital flows, psychological shifts, or manipulation by those big enough to move the market. The biggest mistake most traders make is believing they can get rich quickly. But if you look at Forex like a race car, you'll see that the one who floors the accelerator first is usually the one who crashes into the wall. The winner is the one who understands the track, conserves fuel, and accelerates only at critical moments. The market does not reward haste, it rewards endurance. Another truth few are willing to face. The market never reacts to the emotions of the crowd. It usually moves against them. When everyone believes price will go up, that is often the greatest risk. When everyone is afraid, that is when opportunity begins to form. This is not a linear logic, it is a game of paradox. The more you believe in what seems obvious, the easier it is to fall into a trap that has already been set. I once believed success in Forex lay in technical analysis, but the deeper I went, the more I realized analysis is only a language, like learning the alphabet. To read the real story the market is telling, you need something deeper, an understanding of human nature and of how crowds behave. The market is a mirror reflecting collective psychology. Every bullish candle, every sudden crash is not just meaningless numbers, but an expression of greed, fear, patience, or impatience shared by millions of people at the same time.
There is one thing I learned from my teacher, and looking back, I realized it closely aligns with a principle found in most financial games that Ray Dalio has often mentioned. Silence is power. Those who truly make a living from Forex rarely need to be loud. They feel no urge to show off because real profit does not come from proving to the world that you are right. It comes from quietly harvesting results and letting the market speak on your behalf. Forex is not fair, and it was never created to be fair. It is a battlefield where one person's profit is another person's loss. Once you understand this, you stop chasing sure-win secrets. You begin to think like a strategist, free of illusions, left only with discipline and adaptability. Forex is not a place you come to make money fast. It is a place that teaches you how to survive in a harsh system. And only when you see it as a machine operating by rules rather than a game of chance do you truly have a chance to stand among the few. If you observe long enough, you will see that Forex is nothing more than a massive mirror reflecting human nature. Price going up or down is not just numbers, it is the echo of millions of overlapping emotions, expectations, panic, greed, and fear. My teacher often said, "You are not trading the chart, you are trading human psychology." When you press the buy or sell button, your greatest enemy is not the sharks or the institutions, but your own ego. The urge to get rich quickly, the fear of loss, the wounded pride after a losing trade, and the arrogance after a few small wins. Humans are wired for instant results. Thousands of years of survival instincts have trained us to seize rewards the moment they appear. But in Forex, that very instinct becomes a fatal weakness. People take profits too early just because they see a small gain, yet they hold losing trades for far too long, as if waiting for a miracle. The market only needs patience, and in the end, it always wins. Even more dangerous is herd mentality. When the crowd becomes convinced price will rise, they rush in aggressively. That very excitement creates the perfect conditions for large institutions to quietly distribute their positions. When fear takes over and everyone runs for the exit, that is when price begins to recover. That is why market history keeps repeating itself, not because charts are magical, but because humans continue to behave in the same patterns. When you set emotions aside, the market reveals itself as a machine. It moves in clear cycles. After euphoria comes collapse. After panic comes rebirth. Everything revolves around the two most fundamental forces in human psychology: greed and fear. My teacher repeated again and again that the market does not pay the smartest person, it pays the one who controls themselves the best. That is the greatest truth. Forex does not defeat you with complex knowledge, but with the human nature inside you. If you cannot overcome greed, fear, impatience, and your own ego, you have already lost before you even place a trade. My teacher left me no holy formulas. He left me principles, what he called the backbone of thinking. Markets may change, circumstances may shift, but sound principles always stand firm. The first principle is to protect capital before thinking about profit. He said a soldier must stay alive before thinking about victory. A trader is the same. If you no longer have capital, every strategy becomes meaningless. This is the foundation. You cannot make money in a game once you have already been eliminated from it. The second principle is to accept small losses in order to avoid catastrophic ones. In Forex, no one likes to lose, but the truth is, losses are always part of the game. The problem is not avoiding them, but managing them. A small cut may hurt, but if you let it spread, it will destroy the entire body. One bad trade does not define you as a failure, but one uncontrolled loss will define your entire career. The third principle is to always remain humble before the market. My teacher often reminded me, the moment you believe you are absolutely right is the moment you are most likely to be wrong. The market does not care about right or wrong. It only moves according to its own rules. Losers try to prove themselves right. Winners quietly adjust and adapt. Humility is not weakness. It is the strength that allows you to see the truth, even when it does not match what you hoped for. The next principle is to think like a business owner, not like a gambler. A gambler enters the market chasing excitement. A business owner invests capital to build long-term profit. My teacher said that if you treat every trade as a small business, you will naturally want to plan, manage risk, control costs, and measure performance. And if you do that long enough, you will gradually build a real business out of trading. The final principle is discipline. Discipline is the only bridge that connects ideas to results. Knowing never is enough. Everyone knows they should cut losses. Everyone knows they should be patient. Everyone knows they should not be greedy. But very few actually do it. My teacher said the difference between the wealthy and the defeated does not lie in knowledge, but in the discipline to turn that knowledge into repeated action day after day. These principles are not abstract philosophy. They are blood, sweat, and tears. They are accounts evaporating, lessons paid for only through failure. And that is why their value transcends time. Forex will change. Technology will change. Even the way central banks operate will change. But human nature will not. And as long as greed, fear, and patience continue to drive human behavior, these principles will remain true, today and hundreds of years from now. My teacher once said that trading is a long road, and each person must walk it alone. A teacher can only hold up a light. You must walk forward on your own feet. Today, I have shared with you the naked truths that books never write about. They may disappoint you. They may feel heavy, but if you have the courage to face them, then at this very moment, you have already gone further than millions of others. Forex is not a path paved with roses. It is a battlefield where every decision is like a bullet and every mistake is a wound. Yet within that brutality, opportunity still exists. The opportunity to refine yourself, to grow, to learn how to overcome greed, fear, and your own ego. And if you can do that, the reward is not just money, but a stronger version of yourself. Remember this, as long as you still have capital, as long as you still have discipline, you have never truly lost. Failure only appears when you quit. Every fall is merely a step that allows you to stand back up stronger. This is only one part of a journey I will continue to share with you on quiet trading. If what I've said today resonates with you, then the road ahead will surely hold many more moments of awakening. Prepare yourself. because what I will bring in the coming videos will go deeper, not just techniques, but a higher way of seeing the market. And very possibly, it will become the turning point that changes your trading career. If today's words helped you see Forex from a different angle, consider it one small piece of a much larger picture. And if you want to keep completing that picture, stay with me. Stay with quiet trading. A single subscription or a simple share may take only a few seconds of your time, but it is a signal that tells me there are still people out there who genuinely seek the truth, who refuse to be lulled to sleep by empty promises. Let us build a community together, one where value is not found in polished words, but in real lessons paid for with sweat, tears, and failure. Because only by walking together can we go further.